Live from the KGO-TV Broadcast Center, this is ABC 7 News.
Now at 6, live Doppler 7 HD tracking the storm hitting the Bay Area right now. Heavy rain and strong winds across the region, and this is only the beginning.
Let's give you a live look outside. You can see all over the Bay Area it is stormy with conditions ranging from strong winds to a lot of challenging, difficult rain. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kristen Z.
I'm Eric Thomas on this Thursday, December 11th, alongside Layla Goulden, keeping great track of the roads, and Mike keeping us informed with minute-to-minute updates on the weather.
Yeah, other than this storm being about an hour ahead of schedule, everything else is playing out true to form as we talked about the last couple of days. So that's some good news. So hopefully you're ready for it, because we've been giving you a timetable for the last 24 hours, and it looks like Mother Nature is going to stick to that, other than the rain coming a little bit farther south about an hour earlier than what we talked about yesterday. So places like, you can see Treasure Island right there, the Bay Bridge over towards Berkeley, University Avenue, moderate rain right now. The Richmond-San Rafael Bridge, moderate to heavy rain all the way across the span from Richmond back to San Rafael. You can see from about Mill Valley northward through San Rafael, Fairfax and Lucas Valley. That's where we have some of the heavier rain right now, falling right on St. Vincent's Drive, right there between Marin Road and Lucas Valley Road, right on Lucas Valley Road, and a little bit farther to the south, Glen Drive, Sir Francis Drake, as you head out towards Woodacre. That's where we're seeing a little bit of heavier rain. Rohnert Park and Petaluma getting a little bit of a reprieve right now, and you can see lining up just off the coast near Pacifica, Montera, Half Moon Bay, there's a wave of heavier rain that's going to hit the peninsula in the next 20 minutes or so. So get ready. From about San Mateo northward, it's going to look like this. And that's what that storm looks like. That's over the Bay Bridge right now. So stormy conditions, the worst of it through noon, and then it'll become more widespread this afternoon. Layla?
Okay, Mike, we'll take a look at this rain. Here's a look right now at the Richmond-San Rafael Toll Plaza. That wind-driven rain, it is just pouring down at the tolls as you start to make your drive across the water and over towards the North Bay. So we've got limited visibility because of the rain. Hopefully you have some very well working windshield wipers there. Now I've got some good news. We do have this. All lanes have reopened eastbound side of 80 at Pinole Valley Road after a tree fell onto a big rig. The tree has been cleared to the shoulder, but we are now looking at heavier rain there. We are still dealing with some slowing conditions as you start to push through, and in fact there was another accident here, so it looks like they're trying to get that cleared to the shoulder. As we take you into the North Bay, this is Petaluma, north and southbound side of Highway 1 at Valley Ford Road. That's where we've got some flooding in the roadways. So definitely you've got pooling in the lanes. Be careful there and try to drive in center lanes or just avoid some of these mountainous and coastal roadways. Kristen, Eric.
Layla, thank you. At 6:02, and let's continue our storm watch coverage. On the right in your TV, there you see live Doppler 7 HD. On the left, a live look outside right now at the Golden Gate Bridge, where it has been raining and the roads are slick.
And they've had to change lane configurations for this morning to create a buffer zone there for the two directions. All right, we're covering it live team coverage for you with meteorologist Mike Nicco and a team of reporters, ABC 7 News reporters, to bring you the very latest on this major storm.
Let's begin with ABC 7 News reporter Amy Holleyfield live in the North Bay. Amy?
Hi guys, yeah, the headline up here in the North Bay is rain. We are just getting drenched. Look behind me to get a sense of how bad it is. It's been steady. It is just like a big rain cloud is just hovering over the North Bay and won't stop. I'm listening to all of you talk about the rain on the peninsula and in San Francisco. I'm sorry, the wind. We aren't getting blown away up here. It's more just rain is the issue. I mean, it's a gentle wind, a little bit of a gust here or there, but we're just getting wet. This soaking has been going on for hours now. We saw it start coming down about 3 o'clock, and it hasn't given us a break. Sometimes it lightens up and sometimes it's heavier, but it hasn't stopped. We are seeing some low-lying flooding, some street flooding. We're also hearing reports of trees coming down. The fire department's very busy racing from call to call, dealing with about 8 active calls right now, and they've cleared several. So there is some wind, and the moisture is causing trees to not be able to handle it, and they're falling over. But you just want to bundle up head to toe up here and brace yourself for rain. It's not cold. I feel a little overdressed in my heavy sweater. I'm a little warm. It's just wet, so just get ready It's a good soaking up here, and it doesn't look like it's going to let up anytime soon. Reporting live in Santa Rosa, Amy Hollyfield, ABC 7 News.
Thanks a lot. We continue our storm watch coverage right now with ABC 7 News reporter Nick Smith.
Yeah, Nick, you know about wet, live in Pacifica where the surf is just pounding.
Kristen, Eric, I want to let you all know that what we have right now is a situation where we have heavy winds, and because of that, our signal may go in and out. So I want to get right to it and show you what we're seeing and what we're dealing with here, because this is the reason we're here. Look at these waves. I've been calling them angry waves when actually they're just responding to the heavy wind here. The wind has caused these waves to not only hit the pilings, but to hit the pier. That pier has had spray across and over the pier from the winds and the rains. We have seen gusts at the peak that I saw using my anemometer. It had reached 47 miles per hour. That again is an unofficial reading, but it gives you an idea of what we're dealing with here at Pacifica Pier. What we've also seen are people coming out just to kind of check things out, and just recently the cafe did open, so we do think that people are going to move about here in the area. I did speak with police here in Pacifica, and they're telling me that they have not had any down power lines, they have not had any down trees, but they are keeping an eye on things and keeping an eye on the situation. Woo! And once again, that is that sideways rain that comes right at you. It's like little rocks, and you just can't get a break. We are seeing the wind just really pick up, die down, but it has not stopped. We're live in Pacifica. I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
You know what, Nick, I think your inner storm chaser is coming out big time. Thank you. Trying to get dry. Oh.
And you can track the storm where you live by downloading the ABC 7 News weather app. You'll find it on Apple's App Store or Google Play. And we also have more information on our website, abc7news.com/apps.
All right, Nick was saying his unofficial reading out there of the winds about 46 miles per hour. Let's check in with meteorologist Mike Nicco and see what the official readings say. Mike?
Yeah, his anemometer is pretty well calculated. Let's take a look at what Live Doppler 7 HD is seeing. It's seeing 39 at Half Moon Bay, but on the other side of that ridge where Pacifica is, it could be easily accelerating as it descends into Pacifica up to 46 miles per hour. That would be some of the fastest winds, and that's exactly where we expected them. Most of us are in the 20 to 25 mile per hour range until you get to Oakland at 32, Livermore, Mountain View, and Novato at about 15 to 20. Let's take a look. I want to head up north. I don't want to steal Layla's thunder, but we did have a tree down over California 116. The tree was blown over by winds. So a Grayton Road in 116 near Sebastopol, that's where we're seeing some damage from this storm. We've had nearly 2 to 4 inches of rain up in the North Bay, and still a lot of moderate to heavy rain falling over the same areas. We kind of call this train echoing, where you have waves and waves and waves of heavy cells moving over the same area, like moving over train tracks. And that's why we're starting to see some ponding on the roadways up in this area. But let me get out of the way and look at this on the left side of your screen. Notice the cellular nature of these. Those could be some potentially stronger storms. No lightning out of those yet, but if there was to be some lightning, it would be out of those. Those will have locally heavier rain, causing local flooding and even faster wind gusts. So our storm risk for this storm is still high everywhere. Urban flooding, creek flooding, mud and rock slides, dangerous surf, and wind damage. Timetable, still think it's going to go through the North Bay about 6 to maybe 9 o'clock. It's about an hour ahead. So about 9 o'clock to noon around most of the bay, and out of the South Bay by about noon. So we've got some watches and warnings to talk about. Drew's up in the Weather Center. He's keeping an eye on that aspect of the storm. Let me toss it up to him to give you the latest. Drew?
And Mike, we're tracking a slew of advisories around the Bay Area. First, I want to take you into the North Bay, where we have seen the heaviest of the rain, and there we have a flood advisory in effect for Marin, Napa, and Sonoma counties until 11:30 a.m. because heavy rain in this area has caused smaller streams and creeks to overflow their banks a little bit and create ponding on roadways. So take note of that. The entire Bay Area is under a flash flood watch until tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. It means conditions are possible. We could see more flooding on our urban streets and even our smaller streams and creeks across the entire Bay Area as the storm moves through this morning. Now, along with the rain, as that front moves through, the winds are certainly kicking up. You can see from all our reporters, they are in many gusty areas. Winds could top 50 miles per hour in some spots. Even the higher elevations along our ridge tops could get as high as 80 miles per hour. So these stronger winds moving through could down some trees and also some power lines. The wind's certainly churning up our ocean. Look at current wave heights, anywhere from 14 to 18 feet high, and breakers may exceed 20 feet later this afternoon, creating dangerous rip currents across our shore. And one last look at our storm watch in the Sierra, guys. We could see anywhere from 6 to 13 inches of snow once the system wraps up later tonight. All right, Mike?
All right, thank you very much, Drew. Drew's also going to be on social media, as am I. So if you have anything, pics, damage, information, make sure you send it to us, and then we'll disseminate it out to everybody else through the hashtag Bay Area Storm, and even a Bay Area Rain. Now, the fastest winds for most of us right around 7 to 9 o'clock. That's where we could see those gusts reach 50 miles per hour in our neighborhoods, in the 70 to 80 that Drew talked about. So the worst of the storm is still ahead for most of us. All right, let's bring Layla in with traffic.
Okay, Mike, thanks so much. And we are starting off with mass transit. So if you want to avoid the roadways, which is really a good idea because we have had nothing but branches and downed trees everywhere. BART is running on time, but keep in mind, if you're traveling in from Marin to San Francisco, Golden Gate Transit, we have various routes that are canceled this morning. So you want to check in, make sure your route is in proper working order. Also want to let you know that San Francisco Bay ferries, a few ferries are also canceled for today. So check those before you head out the door. Just want to let you know, no cable cars on Muni today, unfortunately. I'm very sorry about that. Here's a look right now at some driven rain as you make that drive right up to the Richmond Santa Fe Toll Plaza. It is wet, it is gusty right here. So as you're making that drive across the water to the North Bay, it is going to be a soaker there. And because of all that wind, we have CHP that's issued high wind advisories for all the Bay Area bridges. And what they've done with the Golden Gate Bridge, they've changed the lane configuration. So you've got 3 lanes to get you southbound into San Francisco from the North Bay. Traveling along in the North Bay, however, you've got 1 lane open, 1 center lane to keep you safe from the oncoming traffic. So we've got that 1 center lane that should protect you there. A little bit farther to the north, you've got a brand new crash northbound side of 101 at Petaluma Boulevard, where a big rig stopped just behind this other vehicle that spun out. Now it's facing the wrong direction and blocking lanes. So we do have some slick conditions out there. Also some ponding and some flooding on some of our streets and freeways. And I'll let you know more about that coming up in just a few minutes. Kristen, Eric.
Layla, thanks a lot. 6:11. Our storm watch coverage continues here on the ABC 7 Morning News.
Live Doppler 7 HD is tracking the rain and wind hitting us right now. We're coming back with a check-in with meteorologist Mike Nicco.
And more weather and traffic for you all morning. This is ABC 7 News Now, a live picture of the Embarcadero, and you can see just how slick it is out there, and it is raining additionally in spots. Also, we're keeping Live Doppler 7 HD up throughout the entire commercial break so you don't miss a thing.